You're building wealth on a foundation that can't support it. The lottery winner who goes broke in 5 years. The inheritance that evaporates within a generation. The startup that explodes, then collapses. The promotion that arrives before you're ready and destroys you. Most people call this bad luck, wrong timing, bad circumstances. Charles Haanel identified something deeper in 1912. Premature success is always followed by humiliation and collapse. Not because of external factors, because internal readiness is missing. The money arrives before the mental state that can sustain it. The position comes before the character that deserves it. The wealth manifests before the consciousness that knows how to keep it. And when foundation and structure don't match, everything falls. The great irony is this: you can achieve what you want and still lose everything. Because getting rich and staying rich require completely different skills. One is about external action. The other is about internal transformation. Most people master the first and ignore the second, then wonder why success burns them. Today, you'll understand why timing isn't luck. It's about becoming ready first. Everything alive moves through cycles. Birth, growth, maturation, harvest, decline. And these cycles follow a pattern. Every 7 years marks a threshold into something new. Your first 7 years, foundation, learning to exist. 7 to 14, developing responsibility. 14 to 21, becoming independent. 21 to 28, reaching full capability. 28 to 35, the constructive period, building property, family, security. 35 to 42, reactions and changes. Things shift. What worked stops working. Then reconstruction, adjustment, preparation for the next cycle. Most people panic when 35 hits and everything destabilizes. But it's not chaos. It's the universe asking, are you ready for the next level? The ones who understand these cycles aren't disturbed when conditions shake. They know it's a natural transition, a requirement for growth, and they use spiritual law to convert the difficulty into opportunity. Wealth is a product of labor, not luck, not inheritance, not good timing. Labor of mind, labor of will, labor of sustained focus. Capital, the money, the resources, the possessions. These are effects, not causes. A servant, not a master. A tool, not a destination. And here's what most people misunderstand. Success isn't contingent on accumulating more. It's contingent on an ideal bigger than accumulation itself. You need a definite purpose, a vision for what you're building wealth toward. Not just get rich. That's not an ideal, that's a number. What are you building? What are you creating? What's the future you're constructing? Many people don't know about this. You can't fake internal readiness with external trappings. You can't dress up your current mental state and expect it to handle increased responsibility. Thought has 3 qualities: form, quality, and vitality. The form comes from your mental image, how clearly you see it. The quality comes from the material of your mind, which you've been building it from. Thoughts of strength, courage, determination, those qualities transfer to your manifestations. The vitality comes from feeling, the emotional charge behind the thought. A constructive thought, one aligned with building, possesses life. It grows, expands, attracts what it needs. A destructive thought, one aligned with tearing down, contains the germ of its own collapse, and everything it creates eventually crumbles, which is why some people win the lottery and keep it while others squander it. Same money, different consciousness. The outer world is a mirror. It reflects what's happening internally. Your circumstances aren't random. They're exact matches for your mental state. So if you attract wealth before you've developed the consciousness to sustain it, the wealth will either destroy you or leave you, because what you have on the outside must harmonize with what you are on the inside. Right now, your outer life is showing you what your inner life has been creating. Look at your circumstances, your relationships, your finances, your health. This is a perfect photograph of your internal state, not as judgment, as feedback. If you don't like what you see outside, you need to change what's happening inside, and you can't fake that.
The successful business person is usually an idealist, not chasing money, chasing the ideal behind the money. They're always reaching for higher standards, better execution, cleaner values, and that internal striving manifests externally as achievement. The law of attraction is simple. What you focus on, you attract. What you vibrate at, you magnetize. But most people focus on the lack of money instead of the consciousness of abundance. They vibrate at scarcity while chasing prosperity. No amount of hard work bridges that gap. Here's the secret. Your fate is not in the hands of chance or circumstance. It's determined by what you think, what you believe, what mental images you hold. When you consciously realize a condition in your mind, when you embody it internally, that condition manifests externally. This is the great business of life. Correct thinking, not positive thinking, correct thinking, which means thinking that's aligned with reality, principle, and what you actually want to build. Constructive thought, harmonious thought, thought that serves growth. And when your thinking is correct, your circumstances must align. But, and this is critical, you must arrive at the consciousness before the condition. You become the person first, then the circumstances follow. Most people reverse this. They chase the circumstances and hope they'll develop the person later. It doesn't work. The person attracts the circumstance. The circumstance doesn't create the person. So, if you want to get rich and stay rich, don't focus on getting rich. Focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally generates, maintains, and grows wealth. That's the internal readiness. That's what prevents disaster when success arrives. This week, your practice is specific and essential. Stop thinking about what you want to have. Start realizing what you need to be. Bring yourself to understand a profound truth. Harmony and happiness are states of consciousness, not dependent on possessions. Things are effects. They follow correct mental states, not the reverse. So if you desire material possession, wealth, relationships, health, anything, your first work isn't chasing the thing. It's acquiring the mental attitude that naturally produces it. How? By realizing your spiritual nature, by recognizing your unity with universal mind, the substance of all things. When you grasp this, not intellectually, but deeply in your being, you access the creative power that generates everything. And from that place of alignment, everything necessary for your complete enjoyment arrives naturally. Close your eyes. Release all striving. Feel your connection to something larger.
universal intelligence, creative substance, not as separate from you, as expressing through you. Feel yourself as a channel for this infinite creative power, not as needy, as naturally generative. Stay in this state. Let it become real to you. This is scientific thinking. This is correct consciousness. When you can sustain this mental attitude, you become ready. And when you're ready, wealth doesn't destroy you. It flows through you naturally.
Getting rich isn't the hard part. Staying rich, remaining whole, not being destroyed by success. That requires something most people never develop: internal readiness. You can accumulate money while your consciousness remains stuck in scarcity, and the money will either slip away or poison you. But when your inner state matches your outer circumstances, everything stabilizes. Everything grows sustainably. So stop chasing the promotion before you're ready for it. Stop pursuing the wealth before you've become the person who can keep it. Instead, cultivate the mental state first. Realize your spiritual nature, your connection to infinite creative substance. Develop the consciousness that naturally generates what you desire, not through effort, through alignment. Then watch how circumstances arrange themselves to match your internal readiness. The timing won't be random, it'll be precise. The success won't destroy you, it'll express you, because you'll have arrived at it from the inside out, not chased it from the outside in. This is how people get rich and stay rich. This is how success serves them instead of destroying them. If this shifted how you approach success, leave a like. Subscribe for all 24 parts. In the comments, what ideal are you building toward? Not the money, the ideal behind the money. Say it clearly. Share this with someone chasing success while staying asleep to what it actually requires. Become ready first. Then wealth is just the natural expression. Scroll 17 next. Until then, develop your consciousness before you chase the circumstance.